Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Chris Scott. He's the founder of Boschetto Consulting, and we'll learn from him about the SBI3 System, a powerful framework to help small business owners solve problems, streamline operations, and achieve results faster. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks, AJ. Thanks for having me. Very happy to be here and very excited to talk problem solving for small businesses. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We are welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form, Chris. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll talk about project management secrets for small business success. We'll learn all that from you. But before that, let's learn a bit about your journey, your background, so that people know who they are listening to.
Sure. So again, my name's Chris Scott. I help small business owners solve their toughest problems and take action with confidence. So how I kind of arrived here, a few different things. First and foremost, I used to, in a previous career, I was able to travel the United States a lot, and doing so allowed me to see many small businesses across the country. I was in many small towns, for a few days at a time. And it was just very inspiring. I think small businesses are the fabric of many countries. I'm sure we'll discuss India's as well. I think I saw 60 million MSMEs in India. So, again, very much a fabric of our communities and whatnot. In addition to that, I was working for a startup that unfortunately did not make it. And during that time, it really, seeing the pain that myself, my coworkers went through, it really inspired me to think that there has to be a better way. So, Boschetto is my way to do my small part to try and impact my community, to try and make a difference, in other people's lives. At the end of the day, I really believe that every small business owner gets started because they have a why. Why do they do this? Obviously, like I just said, mine's to help others in my community, but everyone has a why. And I think every small business owner deserves a chance to see that why come to success. So that's kind of how we arrived here and what I stand for.
Absolutely, Chris. So before this SBI3, means everyone was using other systems, other frameworks. So what was problem with those frameworks that you had to come out with this particular framework? What were the challenges earlier on? How does this solve those challenges?
Great question. So I'm based in Boston, in the United States. And if you're familiar, Boston is one of the main tech hubs, startup, capitals. If not San Francisco, then probably Boston, right? So there, in the Boston community, there's a lot of attention paid to startups. There's VCs, there's accelerators, there's all these programs for startups, right? But your everyday, again, small business owner, your mom and pop shop, your friend running a restaurant. I have a friend who's a barber, who I go to every few weeks to get my beard trimmed. Hello, Joe, if you're listening. And, so again, these are real people. And AJ, you're absolutely right that there are frameworks that exist like this. I found that a lot of them are, again, tech and software driven. So, to be honest, this is kind of a derivative of the lean startup model and whatnot. But again, those resources don't exist for your everyday community small business. So my whole goal behind designing the system is really to break down those processes in a way that's very implementable for, again, your everyday small business. I have a background in project management. So yeah, a lot of the system is based upon project management principles and whatnot. But again, it's breaking it down. So your everyday small business owner, your barber, your landscaper, your, cleaning service, someone doing laundry and dry cleaning, your everyday small business owner can take this and apply simple concepts to their business.
Right, Chris. So we'll come to this SBI3 system, but even we talk of project management and we look at small businesses, you talked about mom and pop stores. They are much more, human linked, one-to-one relationship. People come there, no bots there, or maybe one or two bots nowadays, but human to human interaction, automation very less, and that is where. Do you think small businesses need so much of project management that that they have to break their projects into so many different areas that they need to separately look? How do you see it from that point of view? How should businesses look at their operations, and also should they look at it from a mom and pop store sort of a mindset, or do you think they should look at it from a project management perspective?
These are great questions, AJ. I don't necessarily think that, your mom and pop small business needs project management. In fact, a lot don't want it. And that can be a scary, intimidating term, right? Project management and PMOs exist in big, maybe corporations, but that can be an intimidating term. So I actually don't think that they necessarily need it. And that's why this SBI3 system, again, I think can be so effective, because it breaks those concepts down into something that, again, the everyday, every small business owner is struggling. I have my struggles. I'm sure you have your struggles. It would be naive to think that every small business owner is absolutely perfect. And even if we were, and we said, you know what, I'm happy, and I don't want to grow, and I don't want to scale. I'm really happy with where things are right now. Even then, I would challenge that and say, there's still places where you can improve, right? We can still get more efficient. And let's say if we got 1% more efficient on your processes, what could that mean? To bring this again back to a small business owner, what could that mean to your bottom line? Could that mean that you could pay your employees an extra $500 bonus at the end of the year? Could that mean that you get to go home at 4 o'clock and pick up your kid instead of, having to maybe close up the shop at 6 or 7 o'clock at night or something like that? So it's really taking this continuous improvement mindset, and again, how can we get better? There's always places that we can get better, even if your goal isn't growth and scale. And I think, just to wrap this up, that to your point, project management can be an intimidating term, and the SBI3 system is really meant to simplify things, right? So it's really, I think, less is more. And we don't need more meetings, we don't need more processes. I think over-processing kills creativity and innovation. We don't need more processes. It's really, let's break it down and let's simplify things. So that's really the nature behind this framework. So I think you and I agree 100% that small business owners, your mom and pop shop, don't need project management. And this is why the system is so perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll come to, again, the SBI3. But when we talk of, those businesses, small businesses who maybe go for project management strategy, then what would be the key components of a successful project management strategy for small business owners, if that's the case?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I think it starts at solving the right problem. I think that's a common issue that plagues small business owners. And I'll give you an example. Imagine a local cafe, a coffee shop that you go to every Friday and have a coffee in the morning, right? And that small business owner recognizes that, sales have been down for 2 months. Now, the immediate solution might be, well, let's go run advertisements in the community, or let's go offer a buy one coffee, get a pastry after 2 p.m. But we pause and we try to get to the root cause of the problem. So a tool that I really love for this is the 5 whys. So you really dig deeper. So in this case, you ask why, and you might arrive that the reason that sales are down is because you've brought in new baristas and they aren't being trained. So initially, again, the first surface level problem is, well, let's go throw a marketing campaign at it and try and drive sales. But in reality, the real problem is that your baristas aren't trained and it's killing your wait times. So now what we do, and this is maybe where some of that project management comes in, is we design a minimum viable experiment. So basically a small test, because again, with small businesses, resources are very, very limited: time, money, and energy. So we design a very small test that we can test in as little as a couple days, maybe a week, and we test that against the KPI that we're measuring. So in this case, it might be, again, wait times for the coffee or sales, and then we go test that, and then we improve, and we analyze it and think, did this work or did this not work? And if it worked, how can we make it better? Is this something we want to scale into the business? So again, it starts at the root problem, and then from there, breaking it down into really executable solutions. I think, a few problems that or a few issues that I've seen, entrepreneurs and small business owners struggle with, there's three things. One is that they're laser focused. So I have the solution and not receptive to market feedback, not receptive to, any feedback or bugs or anything. You're like, this is going to work. That might work. I mean, it worked for some unicorn companies and stuff like that. I mean, maybe Facebook, but in reality, for the starting a small business, that doesn't work. The other is that it's chaotic. So you come in and it's, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. That doesn't work either. That kills morale. That's very chaotic. So, when you look at those two, again, this system breaks things down into something that's very manageable and it allows you to gain momentum. The third is that we don't start at all. So I'm sure you've heard, I had that. That was my idea, or I had that idea, but you didn't do anything about it, right? And maybe it was analysis paralysis, maybe it was whatever it was. But again, let's simplify things. So like I said, a few minutes ago, it's not full-fledged project management. It's not introducing a PMO or anything like that, project management office into a small business. It's really, hey, let's take this continuous improvement mindset and let's really break things down and find ways that we can make your business just slightly better, or again, solve a root cause problem that you've been having.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Chris. So now let's come to your system framework, SBI3 system, which is project management and not so project management, or sort of a framework if we look at it from a small business perspective. Tell us exactly what it is. For a lack of better word, we still have to use project management, but actually it's a framework which even small businesses can use. Mom and pop stores can also use. Help us understand. Anywhere if I have not used the right word, please do correct me.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So it's based on three pillars. So SBI3 is innovate, implement, and improve. And it's just like I said, the first step is innovate. So we break down root cause problems and we go and find, brainstorm some solutions. And then from there, we implement them. We test those solutions. Like I said, we're doing minimum viable experiments and we test small and we fail small. Failure is a good thing as long as it's controlled, right? I think it was Thomas Edison who attempted the light bulb 1,000 times before he came up with the solution. Now, the difference is every time that he tested one of those, he got feedback and tried to make it better and better. So failure can be good. Failure fuels growth. I've had failure along my own journey as an entrepreneur and small business owner. So long as you're learning from it, again, it fuels growth. And that's where the continuous improvement and the improved pillar of this SBI3 system comes in, because we're constantly improving. We're looking at ways, okay, maybe this didn't work. Maybe this kind of worked. How can we make it better? And so again, I think this is a system. It would be very naive of me to come into a small business. Like you said, a mom and pop shop, there's a tremendous community feel there. And I have the utmost respect for, again, small business owners who blood, sweat, and tears, they're fabrics of our community, and they're really just trying to make it, right? And then, like I said on the onset, I think every small business owner deserves a chance to see their why come to fruition. So, it would be naive of me to go into a small business and say, this is exactly what you should do. You know your business better than I do. And I think every business is unique. It's like a snowflake, right? Every founder is different. Everyone's been through their different battle tests and everything like that. So no business is the same. And, I think that's where this framework is, and the system is very exciting because it really gets in the weeds with, again, small business owners and guides them through solutions that they can very simply implement into their business to work through some of their toughest problems.
Absolutely. So how does this adoption happens? What's the way? If someone wants to use it, how should they approach this whole process?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I think it should be linked in the description. I think we linked to the newsletter, and if your listeners sign up for that newsletter, I'm very happy to give them. Basically, I put together an execution playbook, and it runs through this entire system. We start at solving the root problem, and then we move through a test, and then ways to improve upon that test. So just that is something that every small business owner, can implement and take home and do it this weekend, and walk through a problem that they've been having. So again, I believe that's linked in the description below. It'd be ecstatic if your listeners, more than happy to give that to them. I'd love for them to join this community. I'm currently, my whole thing is community, right? As we talked about, small business owners and building a community. So my goal is to solve 50,000 small business problems by 2030. So I'd love to help you and your community do that. So with that, again, I think that's a first good step. From there, I'm on LinkedIn, and I offer workshops and whatnot too. So, if anyone was interested in engaging in that, I'd be more than happy. I run a execution lab basically where we do a 3-week sprint and basically solve one of these problems. So there's a few solutions that, again, if small business owners and entrepreneurs are looking to solve a problem, I have problems in my business. I'm not going to hide behind that. Again, I'm sure AJ, you do too. Every small business does, so I think this is something that can fit everyone. So I hope that the execution playbook is very valuable to your listeners. It's over 30 pages. I think it's very detailed. I think that's a great place to start.
Absolutely. And one last question about this is where does AI fit in? Does AI also come anywhere in this whole framework, or is it all about humans?
Both. I mean, the world's going to AI, right? I think that's inevitable. So I think that, again, part of the efficiency part and maybe finding ways that we can implement AI, maybe if you have a problem, AI might be one of the solutions. I'm also working on building an app. So hopefully your listeners stay engaged, and again, sign up for the newsletter. There's, you get the free gift. There's weekly insights that I send. But hopefully in a few months, maybe I'm back on the show and we're talking about an app that I've built that really helps walk people through this. But taking that part out of it, I think where AI doesn't quite close the gap at this point in time, and maybe it one day will, and we'll adjust. But there's nuances that AI can't pick up on, right? So I think the human brain, when it comes to creativity and solving problems, is unmatched compared to AI. And sure, AI will spit out solutions and everything, but they don't capture that feel, right? And as you said, like the community feel of mom and pop small business owners, there's nuances amongst teams. Imagine you're running this with a team of 3 or 4 people. AI and ChatGPT, again, are great tools. I think they're phenomenal tools. I think they can really help with efficiencies, but they don't capture, again, some of that feel and some of that emotion and some of those nuances between teams of Chris had a bad night last night, or he has something going on in his personal life, and he's just not 100% there today. And AI doesn't quite capture that. Maybe it one day will, but for now, I think this is a system that, again, deserves to go through the paces with real people in the community, solving everyday real problems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for a quick recall, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Great. Yeah. In the description below, there is a link to, I believe we link to the newsletter. So when you sign up for that newsletter, I provide weekly insights, actionable tips, thoughts of the week, all stuff that, again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner, this is stuff that you can take with you. It's very, I try and simplify it so that you can take it and put it back into your business. When you do sign up for the newsletter, I'm also happy to include that SBI3 execution playbook. Again, 30+ page guide that you can take with you this weekend, apply to a problem that you're having in your business, and really take action immediately. So yeah, I think, again, I really believe in the power of small businesses. And, in America, there's over 30 million small businesses. AJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but again, I think in India, it's over 60 million MSMEs. And again, these are people that are changing the world. To bring this back to maybe project management, projects drive transformation. There was a point in time when someone looked up at the moon and thought, we should go there. And we got there through a series of very small projects and innovate, implement, and improve. And eventually we got to the moon. And, again, every entrepreneur, every small business owner has a vision. And I think every entrepreneur and small business owner deserves a chance to see that vision come to reality. So if I can do my small part, if one listener hears this and takes action from it, that just means the world to me. And that's the fuel that I use to keep going. So of the 90 million small businesses between US and India and around the globe, if this impacts one listener, then that's amazing. So this is great.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank